Hey guys, this is to help you with the assignment. It says right here that these are called key fossils. I made a mistake. This should be called index fossils. But let's go through and let's recall a little bit of absolute dating. The law of superposition says that the earliest rocks get deposited first. So we're going to go through and it says right here rank the layers from oldest to youngest. So we're going to start with B. Next, we will go C. Letter D comes next. Now, before we can go through and get letter E down, we had a volcanic intrusion. This would be similar to in Utah. A lot of the buildings are made out of granite. This is called an intrusive igneous rock. This letter A is going to be a volcanic intrusion, and A could only come after B, C, and D were deposited. So we're going to go through and have letter A right here. Last but not least, after A sneaks up, E gets deposited. Maybe you want to fight, maybe you want to argue and say that E got deposited first before A. It's kind of a toss up. If we're going to go really right here, I guess maybe E came first and then we could say A came through. But at that point, we're really getting into the minute details. We know that A came after B, C, and D were deposited. If you want to fight about E, we can do that at another time. Okay, this is a reading. I expect you as a high school student to go through and read this. So go through and get that done. This last part, this really is talking about index fossils. And index fossils allow us to go through and tell time. So we know that this woolly mammoth formed 21,000 years ago. If we find this mammoth, we're going to know that the rocks around it are younger. If we find this trilobite, we're going to know that we're dealing with really, really old parts of the earth. So let's go through and do this one. You are out exploring canyons and you find a fossil. It looks like this. So I think this is called an ammonite. I know there's a Pokemon called an ammonite, and I guess that would make this one Kabuto. Maybe this is Lapras. Anyways, we're getting away from Pokemon. This ammonite right here, it looks like this. You recognize this fossil as a key fossil and are able to approximate the relative age of the land where you found it. You find this ammonite. Would it be older or younger than this fossil? Looks like this dinosaur. Well, this guy we know is older, so the land by this ammonite would be older and probably below this fossil. You are very happy knowing that you can use fossils to compare the relative ages of the locations. You continue your exploration and stumble upon this fossil. This is called a trilobite. Would you assume that this location with the fossil is older or younger than the area you just came from? Well, we had an ammonite and now we have a trilobite. Using this index fossils, we would know that we are dealing with older land. Put the following fossils in order of where they would be found. Well, let's go through. We know that the youngest would go on top, so let's find the oldest. This youngest is going to be on top. We have this, and there's a little bit of a typo. We're going to want this one right here. Underneath him, we got this dinosaur looking fella. This one right here, this ammonite. And just because we know what we're wanting, let's go find this guy. Press Control C, Control V, and let's get a copy of this guy down here, all the way at the bottom. This has been Index Fossils and the Rock Record. Thanks.